Hi guys, I'm back. Today is the 5th of July 2021. Today I'm going to read Leviticus 16:20, Proverbs 5, and Psalm 38. Let's get started. The Lord spoke to Moses after two of Aaron's sons had died. They were the sons who died when they came near the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to your brother Aaron. Tell him not to come into the most holy room just any time he wants to. Tell him not to come behind the curtain in front of the cover of the ark. The cover is the place where sin is paid for. If he comes behind the curtain, he will die. That is because I appear in the cloud over the cover. Aaron must not enter the area of the most holy room without bringing a sacrifice. He must bring a young bull for a sin offering. He must also bring a ram for a burnt offering. He must put on the sacred inner robe made out of linen. He must wear linen underwear next to his body. He must tie the linen belt around him. Then he must put the linen turban on his head. Those are sacred clothes. So he must take a bath before he puts them on. The community of Israel must give him 2 male goats and a ram. The goats are for a sin offering. The ram is for a burnt offering. Aaron must offer the bull for his own sin offering. He will pay for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. Then he must take the 2 goats and bring them to me at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He must cast lots for the 2 goats. One lot is for me. The other is for the goat that carries the people's sins away. Aaron must bring the goat chosen for me by lot. He must sacrifice it for a sin offering. But the goat chosen by the other lot must remain alive. First, it must be brought in to me to pay for the people's sins. Then it must be sent into the desert as a goat that carries the people's sins away. Aaron must bring the bull for his own sin offering. He will pay for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. He must kill the bull for his own sin offering. He must take a shallow cup full of burning coals from the altar in my sight. He must get 2 handfuls of incense, completely ground up. The incense must smell sweet. He must take the cup and the incense behind the curtain. He must put the incense on the fire in my sight. The smoke from the incense will hide the cover of the ark where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. The cover is the place where sin is paid for. Aaron must burn the incense so that he will not die. He must dip his finger in the bull's blood. He must sprinkle it on the front of the cover of the ark. He must sprinkle some in front of the cover. He must do it 7 times. Then Aaron must kill the goat for the sin offering for the people. He must take its blood behind the curtain. There he must do the same thing with it as he did with the bull's blood. He must sprinkle it on the cover of the ark. He must also sprinkle some in front of it. That is how he will make the most holy room pure. He must do it because the Israelites are not clean. They have not obeyed me. They have also committed other sins. Aaron must do the same for the tent of meeting because it stands in the middle of the camp, and the camp is unclean. Aaron will go into the most holy room to pay for the people's sin. While Aaron is there, no one may be in the tent of meeting. No one may enter the tent until Aaron comes out. He will not come out until he has paid for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. He will not come out until he has also paid for the sin of the whole community of Israel. Then he will come out to the altar for burnt offerings. It is in front of the Lord's tent where the ark of the Lord is. He will make the altar pure and clean. He will take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood. Then he will put the blood on all the horns that stick out from the upper 4 corners of the altar. He must sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times. He will do it to make the altar pure. He will do it to set it apart from the Israelites. They are unclean. Aaron will finish making the most holy room pure and clean. He will finish making the tent of meeting and the altar pure. Then he must bring out the live goat. He must place both of his hands on his head. While he does that, he must tell me about all the sins the Israelites have committed. He must tell me about all their evil acts and the times they did not obey me. Then, in that way, he puts their sins on the goat's head. Then he will send the goat away into the desert. The goat will be led away by a man appointed to do it. The goat will carry all their sins on itself to a place where there are no people, and the man will set the goat free in the desert. Then Aaron must go into the tent of meeting. He must take off the linen clothes he put on before he entered the most holy room. He must leave them there. He must take a bath in the holy area, and he must put on his regular clothes. Then he will come out and sacrifice the burnt offering for himself. He will also sacrifice the burnt offering for the people. That will pay for his own sin and the people's sin. He will also burn the fat of the sin offering on the altar. A man who sets free the goat that carries the people's sins away must wash his clothes. He must take a bath. After that, he can come back into the camp. The bull and the goat for the sin offerings must be taken outside the camp. Their blood was brought into the most holy room. It paid for sin. The hides, meats, and guts of the animals must be burned up. The man who burns them must wash his clothes. He must take a bath. After that, he can come back into the camp. Here's the law for you that will last for all time to come. On the 10th day of the 7th month, you must not eat anything. You must not do any work. It does not matter whether you are Israelites or outsiders. On that day, your sin will be paid for. You will be made pure and clean. You will be clean from all your sins in my sight. That day is the Sabbath for you. You must rest on it. You must not eat anything on that day. This is a law that will last for all time to come. The high priest must pay for sin. He must make everything pure and clean. He has been anointed and prepared to become the next high priest after his father. He must put on the sacred clothes that are made out of linen. He must make the most holy room, the tent of meeting, and the altar pure. And he must pay for the sin of the priest and all the members of the community. Here's a law for you that will last for all time to come. Once a year, you must pay for all the sin of the Israelites. So it was done, just as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and his sons. Speak to all the Israelites. Tell them, here is what the Lord has commanded." He said, suppose someone sacrifices an ox, a lamb, or a goat. They sacrifice it in the camp or outside of it. They do it instead of bringing the animal to the entrance of the tent of meeting. They sacrifice it instead of giving it as an offering to me in front of the holy tent, in front of my holy tent. Then they will be thought of as guilty of spilling blood. Because they have done that, they must be separated from their people. The Israelites are now making sacrifices in the open fields, but they must bring their sacrifices to the priest. They must bring them to me at the entrance to the tent of meeting. There they must sacrifice them as friendship offerings. The priest must splash the blood against the altar. Here is the altar at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He must burn the fat. Its smell will please me. The Israelites must stop offering any of their sacrifices to statues of gods that look like goats. When they offer sacrifices to those statues, they are not faithful to me. This is a law for them that will last for all time to come. Tell them, suppose someone offers a burnt offering or sacrifice. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. And suppose they do not bring it to the entrance to the tent of meeting to sacrifice it to me. Then they must be separated from their people. Suppose someone eats meat that still has blood in it. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. I will turn against them if they eat it. I will separate them from their people. The life of each creature is in its blood. So I have given you the blood of animals to pay for your sin on the altar. Blood is life. That is why blood pays for your sin. So I said to the Israelites, you must not eat meat that still has blood in it. And an outsider who lives among you must not eat it either. Suppose any of you hunts any animal or bird that can be eaten. It does not matter whether you are an Israelite or an outsider. You must let the blood flow out of the animal or bird. You must cover the blood with dirt. That is because every creature's life is its blood. And that is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat any creature's meat that still has blood in it. Every creature's life is its blood. Anyone who eats that kind of meat must be separated from the community of Israel. Suppose someone eats anything found dead or torn apart by wild animals. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. They must wash their clothes. They must take a bath. They will be unclean until evening. After that, they will be clean. But suppose they do not wash their clothes, and suppose they do not take a bath, then they will be held responsible for what they have done. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, speak to the Israelites. Tell them, I am the Lord your God. Do not do what the people of Egypt do. You used to live there. And do not do what the people of Canaan do. I am bringing you into their land. Do not follow their practices. Obey my laws. Be careful to follow my rules. I am the Lord your God. Keep my rules and laws. The one who obeys them will benefit from living by them. I am the Lord. Do not have sex with any of your close relatives. I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on your father by having sex with your mother. Do not have sex with her. She is your mother. Do not have sex with any other wife or your father. Do not bring shame on your father. Do not have sex with your sister. It does not matter whether she is your father's daughter or your mother's daughter. It does not matter whether she was born in the same home as you were or somewhere else. Do not have sex with your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. That will bring shame on you. Do not have sex with the daughter of your father's wife. She was born to your father. She is your sister. Do not have sex with your father's with your father's sister. She is a close relative on your father's side. Do not have sex with your mother's sister. She is a close relative on your mother's side. Do not bring shame on your father's brother by having sex with his wife. She is your aunt. Do not have sex with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. Do not have sex with her. Do not have sex with your brother's wife. That will bring shame on your brother. Do not have sex with both a woman and her daughter. Do not have sex with either her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter. They are close relatives on her side. Having sex with them is an evil thing. Do not take your wife's sister as another wife and have sex with her. Do not do it while your wife is still living. Do not have sex with a woman during a monthly period. She is unclean at that time. Do not have sex with your neighbor's wife. That would make you unclean. Do not hand over any of your children to be sacrificed to the god Molech. That would be treating my name as if it were not holy. I am the Lord your God. Do not have sex with a man as you would have sex with a woman. I hate that. Do not have sex with a man. Do not make yourself unclean by doing that. A woman must not offer herself to an animal to have sex with it. That is the wrong use of sex. And do not make yourselves unclean in any of these ways. That is how other nations became unclean. So I am going to drive those nations out of the land to make room for you. Even their land was not clean, so I punished it because of its sin. The land threw itself out the people who live there. No, you must keep my rules and laws. You must not do any of the things I hate. It does not matter whether you are Israelites or outsiders. All these things were done by the people who lived in the land before you. That is how the land became unclean. If you make the land unclean, it will throw you out. It will get rid of you, just as it got rid of the nations there before you. Suppose you do any of the things I hate, then you must be separated from your people. Do exactly what I require. When you arrive in Canaan, do not follow any of the practices of its people. I hate the things they do. Do not make yourselves unclean by doing them. I am the Lord your God. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, speak to the whole community of the Israelites, the whole community of Israel. Tell them, be holy, because I am holy. I am the Lord your God. All of you must have respect for your mother and father. You must always keep my Sabbath days. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn away from me to worship statues of gods. Do not make for yourselves metal statues of gods. I am the Lord your God. Suppose you sacrifice a friendship offering to me, then do it in the right way, and I will accept it from you. You must eat it on the same day you sacrifice it, or on the next day. Anything left over on the third day must be burned up. If you eat any of it on the third day, it is not pure. I will not accept it. Whoever eats it will be held responsible. They have misused what is holy to me. They will be separated from their people. Suppose you are harvesting your crops, and then do not harvest all the way to the edges of your field, and do not pick up the grain you missed. Do not go over your vineyard a second time. Do not pick up the grapes that have fallen to the ground. Leave them for poor people and outsiders. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal. Do not tell lies. Do not cheat one another. Do not give your word in my name and then be a false witness. That would be treating the name of your God as if it were not holy. I am the Lord your God. Do not cheat your neighbor. Do not rob him. Do not hold back the pay of a hired worker until morning. Do not ask for bad things to happen to deaf people. Do not put anything in front of blind people that will make them trip. Instead, have respect for me. I am the Lord your God. Do not make something wrong appear to be right. Treat poor people and rich people in the same way. Do not favor one person over another. Instead, judge everyone fairly. Do not go around spreading lies among your people. Do not do anything that puts your neighbor's wife in danger. I am the Lord. Do not hate one another is a lie. And do not hate another is a lie in your heart. Correct your neighbor boldly when they do something wrong. Then you will not share their guilt. Do not try to get even. Do not hold anything against any of your people. Instead, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I am the Lord. Obey my rules. Do not let different kinds of animals mate with each other. Do not mix two kinds of seeds and then plant them in your field. Do not wear clothes that are made out of two kinds of cloth. Suppose a man sleeps with a female slave, but she and another man have promised to get married to each other, and their freedom has not yet been paid or given to her. Then she and the man who slept with her must be punished, but they must not be put to death, because she had not been set free. The man must bring a ram to the entrance to the tent of meeting. It is for a guilt offering to me. The priest must take the ram for the guilt offering. He must sacrifice it to pay for the man's sin in my sight. Then his sin will be forgiven. When you enter the land, suppose you plant a fruit tree. Then do not eat its fruit for the first years. The fruit will be unclean. In the 4th year, all the fruit will be holy. Offer it as a way of showing praise to me. But in the 5th year, you can eat the fruit. Then you will gather more and more fruit. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat any meat that stirs blood in it. Do not practice any kind of evil magic. Do not cut the hair on the sides of your head. Do not clip off the edges of your beard. Do not make cuts in your bodies when someone dies. Do not put marks on your skin. I am the Lord. Do not dishonor your daughter's body by making a prostitute out of her. If you do, the Israelites will start going to prostitutes. The land will be filled with evil. You must always keep my Sabbath days. Have respect for my sacred tent. I am the Lord. Do not look for advice from people who get messages from those who have died. Do not go to people who talk to the spirits of the dead. If you do, they will make you unclean. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in order to show your respect for old people. Also have respect for me. I am the Lord your God. Suppose an outsider lives with you in your midst. Then do not treat them badly. Treat them as if they were one of your own people. Love them as you love yourself. Remember that all of you were outsiders in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Be honest when you measure lengths, weights, or amounts. Use honest scales and honest weights. Use honest dry measures and use honest liquid measures. I am the Lord your God. I brought you out of Egypt. Obey all my rules and laws. Follow them. I am the Lord. As the Lord spoke to Moses, he said, say to the Israelites, suppose a person sacrificed one of his children to the god Moloch. It does not matter whether that person is an Israelite or an outsider who lives in Israel. He must be put to death. The members of the community must kill him by throwing stones at him. I will turn against that man. I will separate him from his people. That's because he has sacrificed his child to Moloch. He has made my sacred tent unclean. He has treated my name as if it were not holy. Suppose the members of the community act like they don't know that the man has sacrificed his child to Moloch. And suppose they don't put him to death. Then I will turn against that man and his family. I will separate them from their people. I will also separate all those who follow him by joining themselves to Moloch. They are not faithful to me. Suppose someone looks for advice from people who get messages from those who have died. They go to people who talk to the spirits of the dead, and they do what those people say. Then they have not been faithful to me, so I'll turn against them. I'll separate them from their people. Set yourselves apart for me. Be holy, because I am the Lord your God. Obey my rules. Follow them. I am the Lord. I make you holy. Anyone who asks for bad things to happen to their father or mother must be put to death. They have cursed their father or mother. So anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man commits adultery with his neighbor's wife. Then the man and the woman must be put to death. Suppose a man has sex with his father's wife. Then he has brought shame on his father. So the man and the woman must be put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man has sex with his daughter-in-law. Then they must be put to death. Then they have used sex in the wrong way. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man has sex with another man as he would have sex with a woman. They hate what they have done. They must be put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man gets married to both a woman and a mother. That is evil. All of them must be burned to death. Then there will not be any evil among you. Suppose a man has sex with an animal. Then he must be put to death. He must also kill the animal. Suppose a woman has sex with an animal. Then kill the woman and the animal. Then he must be put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man gets married to his sister and has sex with her. That is a shameful thing to do. It does not matter whether she is the daughter of his father or of his mother. They must be separated from their community in front of everyone. That man has brought shame on his sister. He will be responsible for what he has done. Suppose a man has sex with a woman during her monthly period. He has uncovered the place where her bleeding was coming from. and she has let him do. So both of them must be separated from their people. Do not have sex with the sister of either your mother or your father. That would bring shame on a close relative. Both of you will be held responsible for what you've done. Suppose a man has sex with his wife, then he's brought shame on his uncle. Both of them will be held accountable for what they've done. They will die without having any children. Suppose a man gets married to his brother's wife. That is something that should never be done. He has brought shame on his brother. Neither of them will have any children. Obey all my rules and laws. Follow them. And then the land where I am bringing you to live will not throw you out. To make room for you, I am going to drive out the nations that are in the land. You must not follow the practices of those nations. I hated those nations because they did all those things. But I said to you, you will take over the land as your own. I will give it to you. It will belong to you. And it is a land that is plenty of milk and honey. I am the Lord your God. I have set you apart from the other nations. So you must be able to tell the difference between animals that are clean and those that are not. You must know which birds are clean and which are not. Do not make yourselves unclean by eating any unclean animal or bird. Do not make yourselves unclean by eating anything that moves along the ground. I have set all of them apart as unclean for you. You must be holy. You must be set apart to me. I am the Lord. I am holy. I have set you apart from the other nations to be my own people. Suppose a man or woman gets messages from those who have died. Or suppose a man or woman talks to the spirits of the dead. Then you must put that man or woman to death. You must kill them by throwing stones at them. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron. Tell them, a priest must not make himself unclean by going near the dead body of any of his people. He can go near the body of a close relative. It could be his brother, mother, father, son, daughter, or brother. He can also go near a sister who is not married. He would have depended on him because she did not have a husband. A priest can make himself unclean by going near her body, but he must not make himself unclean by going near the bodies of people only related to him by marriage. Going near them would make him unclean. A priest must not shave any part of their heads. They must not shave off the edges of their beards. They must not make cuts on their bodies when someone dies. Priests must be holy. They must be set apart for me. I am their God. They must not treat my name as if it were not holy. They must be holy because they bring food offerings. Proverbs 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen carefully to my wise sayings. Then you'll continue to have good sense. Your lips will keep on speaking words of knowledge. The woman who commits adultery has lips that trip. What she says is smooth and olive wood, but in the end she is like bitter poison. She cuts like a sword that has two edges. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She doesn't give any thought to a way of life. Her paths have no direction, but she doesn't realize it. My sons, listen to me. Don't turn away from what I say. Stay on a path far away from that evil woman. Don't even go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor to other people. You will give your self-respect to someone who is mean. Strangers will use up all your wealth. Your hard work will make someone else rich. At the end of your life, your skin and your body will be worn out. You will say, how I hated to take advice, how my heart refused to be corrected. I would not obey my teachers. I wouldn't listen to those who taught me. I was in deep trouble. It happened right in front of the whole assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own well. Drink running water from your own spring. Should a spring springs pour out into the streets? Should streams of water pour out in public places? No, let them belong to you alone. Never share them with strangers. May your factor be blessed. May the wife you married when you were young make you happy. She is a loving good, a grateful dear. May your breast always satisfy you. May you always be captured by love. My son, why do you capture by another man's wife? Why hug a woman that who is gone astray? The Lord watches your ways. He studies all your past. Sins are trapped by their own evil acts. They are held tight by the rest of their sins. They will die because they refuse to be correct. They will be captured. Their sins will capture them because they are very foolish. Psalm 38. Lord, don't correct me when you are angry. Don't punish me when you are burning in your anger. You have wounded me with your arrows. You have struck me with your hand. Because of your anger, my whole body is sick. Because of my sin, I'm not healthy. My guilt has become too much for me. It is a load too heavy to carry. My wounds are ugly. They sting. I've been foolish. I have sinned. I am bent over. I've been brought very low. All day long I go around weeping. My back is filled with burning pain. My whole body is sick. I am weak and feel as if I've been broken in pieces. I groan because of the great pain in my heart. Lord, everything I really want is clearly known to you. You always hear me when I sigh. My heart pounds and my strength is gone. My eyes can hardly see. My friends and companions avoid me because of my wounds. My neighbors stay far away from me. they're trying to kill me they're trying to kill me those who are trying to kill me set their traps. Those who harm me, want to harm me, talk about destroying me. All day long they make their plans until they're lost. I'm like a deaf person, I can't hear. I'm like someone who can't speak, I can't say a word. I'm like someone who doesn't hear. I'm like someone whose mouth can't make any reply. Lord, I wait for you to tell me. Lord my God, I know your ways. I said, don't let my enemies have the joy of seeing me fall. Don't let them brag when my feet slip. I'm about to fall. My pain never leaves me. I admit that I have done wrong. I am troubled by my sin. Though I have nothing to cause it, many people have become my enemies. They hate me without any reason. They pay me back with evil, even though I was good to them. They bring charges against me, though I try only to do what's good. Lord, don't desert me. My God, don't be far away from me. Lord, my Savior, come quickly, tell me. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.